Okay, I think we're live. It finally worked.
So you have to send me that link so I can post it.
I will send you the link. I think you just need to go to our YouTube channel.
Can you just send it? Because it's going to be so much more.
Do not know how to send it.
What about any of these? Over there? That other one? No. Those little 3 dots.
This is about chat.
Mm-hmm.
So just link to our channel and this video will show up.
Okay. What is our channel? YouTube.com/going somewhere or
we are going somewhere. That's great, isn't it? To know the name of your channel on YouTube.
I can never remember because other places it's we are going somewhere and on YouTube it's going somewhere.
No, on YouTube it is we are going somewhere.
We are going somewhere. Okay.
On Facebook it's going somewhere.
I have to fix that. If that's
so
possible.
hi everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're going to try and migrate everyone from Facebook here to YouTube tonight because we couldn't get this going on Facebook tonight. Not our fault this day, tonight. Not our fault today. There was something happening with the Facebook engine. Facebook live streaming. The window that normally shows up that allows you to start streaming and see the preview and show you how many people are watching and how many peak viewers and so on was simply not there today. We followed every night routine. We have done maybe 40-45 live shows at this point, so it is every night the same. And today this last step where the window shows up that shows you the preview that actually confirms that you're live was simply not there. Not in Chrome, not in Safari. After resetting the whole laptop, the situation was the same. So no idea what went wrong, but it just wasn't working.
Neither browser. Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, browser independent as well. So
Safari was worse.
Safari didn't even show the live streaming page at all. Chrome was getting to the live streaming page, but not to the final step where you can actually start the stream. So it looks from our end like everything's working.
Wants to join us, but I don't think he understands how. I posted already in this group about, the event, about the new place. I'll comment and hopefully we can get him over here.
Also, just post on your profile, and I should post on mine so we can try and migrate people. So sorry for taking this moment
to type on our phones. This is incredibly rude, isn't it, David?
I know.
Sorry.
But this is simply to so right now we're apologizing to everybody who's watching.
Because we're just looking at our phones, and this must be very boring.
Who's watching after the live and who's watching right now? But we're just trying to get our regular daily audience to join us on YouTube instead of Facebook tonight, because Facebook simply wasn't working.
YouTube never does much. Like, is there even anybody watching right now?
Yes, there's 4 people.
There is? Whoa, thank you.
So, what are we really talking about tonight, Bonnie?
It was Free for All Friday, and you were going to show some of our prints, correct? That we're selling, and then I thought that was an interesting conversation earlier about left side of the bed or right side of the bed.
Oh, yeah. Sounds picante, but it's not that much. So basically, the main subject of the day is, and we're hoping that once you guys start joining and maybe posting some comments and questions, you will inspire us to talk about some new subjects or subjects that you want to hear about or you want to talk about, or whatever bothers you tonight, whatever funny joke you have to share, whatever information or whatever's going on in your life you want to share with us. Go ahead and post. Michael is already here. I found Facebook to be really slow for the last couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Like overall, you mean browsing Facebook?
They are changing something.
My
It's like the Matrix.
if something is slow on our computer, I just assume that it's the cable because our
Because
connection
our
here is
connection
horrific.
is always slow. But it looks like they are simply changing something in the Matrix.
Marcin said that he is coming. He said, "Oh my gosh, I'm always late," and I said, "Well, us too tonight."
So, the main subject of the day, the main topic is our grand print sale is reopened, our print gallery. You have added some new prints to it, haven't you?
A few. I have more to add, but I wanted to get it up today, and then also I want to categorize it better because now I just feel like everything is just lost. There's so much. It's like a Goodwill store. You can't even find one thing.
So basically, we wanted to talk about tonight a little bit in more detail about some prints that are in this gallery, how they were captured, why they mean so much to us. And I think once we give you guys a background like this, once you hear stories behind those images, you are going to start feeling a little more connected to them, and then maybe it will inspire you to actually using one of those to decorate your own house or office or nursery or
Bathroom.
your shed or bathroom, whatever place in your environment needs decorating. Those prints are good for anything. So now
So
we're
my
gonna
ideas for the store are to sell more things that have a similar theme. So, for instance, if you wanted 4 pictures, they would all be similar in some way, either color or subject, something that they would look cool together, rather than just prints, because it's hard to compete about. Look at the IKEA. We just went to that incredible house in Baltimore, and this guy has all this incredible artwork on his wall, and then near the window there's a big IKEA print, and he bought it for like $30. How can you compete with that?
right.
So
Absolutely.
hopefully you like our pictures enough to compete with it.
Also, before we go to this gallery and talk about those prints, we wanted to reveal a little bit of our plans for the future, and I think this is also why we need to categorize what's in there right now. And oops, I think we're already showing some of it. Okay.
Oops, now you're showing our background of our live window.
No.
That
should-
looks like it.
Well, this is weird. What
Yeah.
is happening here?
It's just showing your whole window.
Okay, we're back. Sorry for that. Technical difficulties. So,
Tonight is not a good night, is it?
it starts with some hoops, but we're jumping through them. So,
Here's Marcin.
oh, hello. Mistrzu, witamy serdecznie.
Say we're late in Polish.
Też jesteśmy spóźnieni dzisiaj, ale to ze względu na techniczne trudności.
Okay. That was a lot of words for we're late.
I know, I added technical difficulties.
Oh, okay.
So, in the future, which means actually starting August 2nd, we're going to be adding more prints to this gallery, and hopefully, we're going to have a lot more to add on a weekly basis, and that's why it needs categorizing as well, because it's going to get overwhelming with what's already in there, and we don't want to drown people in choices, because whenever you have too many choices, the choice is not good.
Yeah.
Less
not
choices
easy.
is always better. So now we're gonna show.
Oh, there's our Facebook Live
I know.
window again.
I know. We're gonna show a little bit of this website. So this is what the gallery looks like. And which of these would you like to talk about first, Bronnie?
No. You tell me which one you like, and then I'll talk about
I
it.
like this one. This is a really cool one.
This one was in London, in the Camden area. And
And
why?
so not in Camden, New Jersey.
No, it's a little bit of a different Camden. It's the OG Camden, the original Camden.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it because I like that woman walking out of the area in there. I just like the colors and the evening light and all that.
I like how balanced it is, because you can see the lights under the overpass,
Mm-hmm.
and also the background is not overexposed, so it must have been late in the day,
Yes, it was.
or it was very cloudy,
no, it
which
was
wouldn't be
late.
surprising for London.
because everything in London, you know, when you go over there, you're going back and you're really tired. So we would like get out and walk around whenever it was pretty much evening, and then everything was closing in London. Everything closes so early. Anyway, so when I went on that trip, I took a lot of pictures, and I wish that I would do that more, because in the end you come out with a shot like that you would have missed if you weren't trying to just fill your time with photos.
So there's another one from London that I want to show, and I want you to talk about, because it is really beautiful. So here it is.
Thank
So
you.
where, how this one? I mean, obviously it's a very pretty scene, so this doesn't need an explanation why you took this shot. But where were you? And
This is across the river, and that is Big Ben, the big clock tower.
the real Big Ben
The
again.
real Big Ben, yes. And you know, the only thing about this picture was it was rainy and really cold, and I rushed, and if I had had it to do over again, I would have tried to get a better composition so that the lamppost would also be in the reflection down below, and the top, at the very least, the top of the clock wasn't. I remember being frustrated about that when I got home and edited it, but
You were frustrated.
yes, that I cropped that stuff off.
The artist frustration.
Yes.
Martin is asking, isn't that HDR?
No, it's just Nikon.
Oh my goodness. You could do the same shot with an iPhone these days. But those were not the days of iPhone, I understand. Okay, let's go to another one that is really interesting. And
That was Nike in the Louvre.
wait, it's not on the screen yet. Now it is.
This is not Nike in the Louvre. This is just some rusty spot I saw. I thought it was cool, because could you imagine that hanging on your wall? Like, I think that would be a cool picture to have on
It's
your
true
wall.
artwork. I think it would be better than that yellow line going through the
I
blue
know,
square.
Jesus. I'm trying. This is a friggin' bargain, this picture, if you compare it to that. Like, that picture sold for $1.5 million or something, right? And this is like $100.
No, it sold for $42 million.
What?
Yes, that's the craziness of it.
I don't remember that. What? 1.5 million is still pretty crazy.
Yeah, but it sold for $42 million.
I have to look that up.
No, that was the insanity.
Well,
of it.
anyway, so at least there's some texture and multiple colors in this one compared to that one.
Yeah, so I think this would look very pretty on a wall, especially if done as a metallic print. What do you think?
I think it's cool because it's kind of abstract and just colorful, and at first you don't know if it's a painting or what it is. I think anyway.
And isn't it interesting that our pricing is not showing up on the right?
That's weird. Is it?
Just
Are
keeps
you seeing
spinning.
it in the window? Oh, it does on the other prints. Go to another print
Okay,
that you like.
Let's see. In the meantime, do we have any more comments? Martin says, I'm talking about Camden photo.
Yep, still Nikon.
Still not an HDR?
I'm pretty sure that was, well, you know, it may not have been Nikon. It could have been my Fuji X100S, but I'm thinking it was the Nikon DF.
Alright, so here we have another one, and how much of your old equipment did you have to smash for this picture?
This was all in that abandoned factory that my studio was next to. And, like, literally, when that factory was abandoned, people just walked up and left their desks on the computer. I mean, their computers on the desk. There were paperworks, notepads with, like, little notes and pens written on it, and they just walked away. And I guess when they were cleaning that factory up, they just started gathering these things. There were piles of computers like that were, like, 10 feet tall. Isn't that crazy?
Very interesting.
There was a lot of stuff. Do you remember walking through that factory?
Oh, absolutely.
I should put some of those prints in there from the factory of the models when we were doing those play dates there. Don't you think that'd be cool?
Play dates with models. Now you have to explain that a little more.
Well, we used to do photographers' play dates at my studio in Delaware, where we would pick some kind of a theme, and then photographers that we were friends with would come over and just take pictures. Not a whole bunch of photographers, because then starts to get too crazy and crowded, but just like a few close friends. And you came.
To one.
Yeah.
Two, I think. Two.
The one that you came to was really cool because those girls had those wings and stuff. Yeah.
I remember that.
Mhm.
We almost fell through the floor in that factory.
Somebody did fall through the floor later on. It kept saying, "Don't stand there, don't stand there," and they stood there, and then
Funny.
that was not safe.
So now is something that I think you told me before is one of your favorite pictures you ever took. Here it is, and definitely explain what's going on here and how was this created.
This is one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken, and yes, it was. What was I saying yes for? I don't know. It was taken in New York City at a like Naughty Nutcracker ballet, but this one was taken definitely with my Fuji X100S, and I just like it because I happened to take it
Which proves that the camera doesn't matter.
Well, when you have a
I
set
mean,
and
that is
lighting
a great
like
camera,
that,
but Nikon D4 or Fuji 100.
I mean, let me see the picture again.
Here it is.
I was just really happy that I got it when people were all posed in each of the, because this is a moment of a ballet. And there was snow falling. You can't
They
really
didn't
see
just
it in
stand
this.
like this for half an hour for everybody to take pictures?
I mean, it wasn't like let's pause and then move. It was like, do, flowing.
Mm-hmm. I get it. You captured it.
Yes.
Great job.
Which was illegal, probably, because I probably shouldn't have taken pictures of that.
That should be like a triple price then. Because it took extra effort and risk to get this photo. So, if you guys want to decorate your house or your shed or your nursery with something really special, beautiful artwork, then
Well, I would not decorate a nursery with this.
you should definitely get this print. Why?
Because it was a naughty nutcracker.
But the photo doesn't have anything
It
naughty
might.
in it.
I don't know.
Nah.
There were topless ballerinas in that play.
But they're not showing in here. You may have just enticed the men part of the audience to
Go look at our
Go for
print
this
gallery. They're like, let me get my mic. What is that?
So now something that is this still the cover of our Facebook page?
Mm-hmm.
This is the cover photo of our Facebook page. Currently it's going to be replaced soon because we're working on something new.
This was also taken with a Fuji. I used to have a gallery on Tumblr called fuji.blondie.com, and I would post my pictures from that camera, and this was in Nevada.
I thought this was taken during our 2015 trip across USA.
No.
It wasn't?
Mm-mm.
I think I remember a very similar road to this.
We were in an area like that for sure. I took that picture when I went to Valley of Fire with Karen and Babel and Lindsay and stuff.
What's the stuff?
I don't remember who else. I said and stuff because I can't remember who else, and I don't. Eve probably. No, Eve didn't come. I just don't want to miss somebody, and
Right.
so and stuff encompasses the person I missed.
Gus is here. He said, hey, found you. So
Hi.
looks like we have to be online for a long time tonight for people to migrate from Facebook and
Does anybody even... The thing we like about Facebook is this just automatically pops up and tells everybody that we're here.
this camera is darker. I have to adjust it because it bothers me.
I said that when we sat down.
I know, and I didn't listen to you. Is it better now?
Make it more. It's still too dark.
Okay, now it should be
That's
good.
better.
Not pushing it any farther. Okay, yes, much better. Oh, it's live show, so I can adjust things. Now they match so much better. Look at this. Still not perfect, but
Yeah, I think that's still darker.
no, I think it's good.
Okay.
And since I have the camera
I'm
power,
pretty sure that's darker than the other one, though. Cut
Let's
to
go-
the other one.
let's go back to talking about Prince. So now
That's
you
New York City.
have to tell me why you like this one and what's special about it.
I just loved the composition. It's also taken with a Fuji. This woman, you can barely see her walking towards us on the left. I like the line of people all under this walk street. I like this woman's leg out like that, and the profile of the two doggies and how that one dog has the highlighted face. Isn't that cool?
sounds really good. I mean, looks
Do you
really
like
good.
it?
Yeah, I like it. I would definitely print this as a metallic black and white, and absolutely hang
So,
it on my wall.
Of all the pictures in that gallery, which one would you, if you had to print one, which one? But you can't automatically pick the ones that have whisper in them.
No?
No.
Oh, I wanted to show one that has whisper. I think I'd go for this because I like
Really?
vivid colors.
Hmm.
So this would definitely be one of my favorite, and
This I took on our trip.
also because I remember the moment. I was just gonna say this was in San Antonio,
Mm-hmm.
in Texas, and I think at this point we were actually heading back to the car
From eating at a restaurant.
from eating in one of the restaurants at the Riverwalk. So this
Mhm.
was on a bridge looking over the Riverwalk. The famous Riverwalk in San Antonio, if you guys have never been, it's one of those like really magical places where it's like you just can't believe how pretty it is.
Mhm.
And it has this very special mood to it, so you have to experience it one day. And you can tell that this was late at night because there's nobody at those tables. I think this was also long exposure,
It was long.
and you were trying to blur out anybody who
trying
was
to
still
get-
walking there.
I was trying to get more of the background light. See how the sky is not black, but it
Yeah.
was dark outside.
And this is an HDR, or it's a composite. I don't even remember exactly. But
Was
it was.
I don't think
I think it
so.
was layered.
Oh, I can't remember.
But if there were still people, you would definitely see them sitting at the table because you can only blur and get rid of the ones that are moving
Do you
in a
remember
long
what else we
exposure.
did that evening?
Is it PG-13?
Yes, it's PG. It's G. We were at a parking garage, and you were flying the drone around San Antonio.
No, I wasn't flying a drone.
Yes,
It
you.
was
Then
a-
why were we in the parking garage?
Because we were shooting photos with the regular camera from the top of the parking garage.
I don't have any photos from the regular camera. You were either filming or doing. Maybe you were doing a time lapse.
Oh, okay.
But I thought you.
I'm
were
pretty
on.
sure I wasn't flying the drone.
Why?
I don't remember why, but I have no footage from San
But I
Antonio.
definitely remember you filming something. You have no footage from the drone with San Antonio.
Right, yeah.
Huh.
Interesting, I know. Maybe we'll get back to it one day and explain what happened. Michael says, I like it better on Facebook. Why is that? Why do you have that preference? I'm very curious
I
to
like
hear.
it better on Facebook too.
For what reason?
First of all, like I said, people are just on their phone browsing Facebook, and then it will pop up and tell them that we're there. You know? And there's a lot of people that are always browsing their phone on Facebook, so then they're notified. I like the comments here better, though, because we don't have to have our
Yeah.
phone open.
Gus says, I want to go see Riverwalk in person. That's a really good goal. You should. It's absolutely awesome and amazing and beautiful.
The
Whatever
flights from,
whatever time of year you go there,
Mhm.
it doesn't really get super cold in winter, I
it
think.
does get hot, though. You wouldn't like it in the summer.
Facebook notifications reminds me. Michael, if this
Mm.
is the only reason, we will remind you. You have us. We're better than the automated
But it's
notification
not
because
just him, that's for everybody.
we're a live notification. So
How are
we
we
will
going
always
to remind
remind
everybody?
you. We will message people
Individually?
separately.
Oh my goodness.
like you should have done that right now because there's only 4 people watching.
Well, you know, I was telling you that I wondered if this event thing bothered people. Does it bother y'all? Because I don't want to send out the invitation every single day if it's bothering people. And I was especially thinking about the people who didn't come if it bothers them, you know? Because I feel like, especially if you just, I don't usually just send it out to my whole friends list, but if I just did that, I feel like if I was some random friend of mine, then I would be kind of annoyed.
If you were getting the invitation every single day,
Yeah.
it would start bothering you.
I don't know.
I think I would feel honored because this tells you that the people on the other end are thinking about you every day.
Or just clicking
You know?
send to all friends.
Don't say that. So now comes a very special photo. Because this one is the background of our YouTube channel. So it's the header of it, and it always will have special meaning to me because it's so cool. And I remember exactly how this was taken. We were in Wyoming,
No,
Oregon.
we were in Texas.
Okay. I don't remember exactly the state, but I remember how this happened. So we were basically driving just like in no particular super extra amazing location, and this was on the side of the road. And you said, pull over here, I want to take a picture of these flowers. And I was like, what is she seeing over there? Those don't even look that special to me. And then you came back with this. And somehow you managed to capture it so that the sun is exactly tiny little bit over this cloud and behind that flower.
Did you
So
like it?
that's what made it work. And well, obviously I like it since it's been the background of the YouTube channel for ever since we created it, basically.
Aw,
So very, very special
thank
photo.
you. That was with the Nikon DF too.
Biggest eye roll of the show so far. And now something equally dear to my heart. This is Whisper the dog.
Look at how happy
14
she looks.
14-year-old dog at that point, running with David M.
Pulling David along.
At the White Sands in New Mexico. Another absolutely amazing, amazing location. We have a whole episode about it on our channel. It's one of the first episodes posted, so if you guys want to go that far back, you can take a look at some amazing drone footage and see what it looked like. It was just an absolutely amazing, amazing location. Gus says there is an app that lets you stream to both YouTube and Facebook. Interesting.
Well, obviously, Dave Chung uses that,
I
so
know-
you knew about it, right?
No, he has a different setup now, I think. I know
Oh.
he tried that app once
Oh.
and it was messing things up. He wasn't very happy about it.
I think our problem with that would be the streaming capability of our network.
That would definitely be a
Yeah.
problem. Gus says, but the comments could become confusing. Yeah, I don't even know how that would work. Marcin, I wish Facebook have app who let you make and order photo books with our pictures.
I think they do, actually.
They do?
I think they have a way to do that now, which I kind of don't like.
And if they don't, then you should develop one like that.
They do, I think. But isn't that annoying? I don't want them to order our pictures in books. I want them to order the pictures from us in books. Not from Facebook. I don't want Facebook to make money off my picture.
Facebook is making so much money.
They don't need my money. I need my money. Desperately.
Gas is great picture of David and Whisper.
Thank you.
Blondie obviously is
I
the
felt
author.
like I got a lot of good pictures of you on that trip, don't you think? But I didn't put all those in the gallery because I figured I don't want to supply your stalker with all of the photos I
Check
took.
this out. This was in the same location. This was the sunset that very same day. And
In White
one of the
Sands.
very few puddles that were actually there.
Mm-hmm.
When we were there, it was kind of interesting day because when we arrived, it was really dark and rainy on one side and it was sunny on the other side, and we were there like right in the middle, having those both backgrounds and weather patterns with us there at the same time. So when we were leaving, this was one of the very few puddles that were actually left after the rain, and you captured this amazing reflection in it. And now this is just what the sand looked like.
Mm-hmm. I
So-
thought it was really cool. Wasn't that the best sand you've ever seen or touched?
Yeah, because it was so fine
Yeah.
and like
Mm-hmm.
tiny. The grains were very,
It
very
felt
small.
like the smoothest, softest thing running through your hands. Do you remember that?
It was
feeling?
like slightly
silky.
coarser than flour, you
Mhm.
know? Like
Mhm.
the grains were so small. So it was really cool.
So I thought that sand pattern was cool.
yes.
Remember how many cool things we saw in that desert? Like those little lizards and everything? We're considering if we are able to make enough money going to...
This would be a cool photo to hang in your bedroom, wouldn't it? Because it's so
Mhm.
calming.
Mhm.
Especially if you have some of these colors, which almost everybody has in their bedroom.
I was going to say, we were thinking of going to Arizona, and I would love to go through this again. Wouldn't you? This is my favorite individual spot on our entire trip. What about for you?
White Sands?
Yeah. Overall state, there were others who I just thought were amazing, but that one spot was the most breathtaking that we saw, I feel like.
It was really cool. I agree. It was very, very specific and amazing place, and it made you feel like you're on a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like all of a sudden you left Earth and you're just like in a different world, because there were spots where you would stand on a sand dune and you could look anywhere around and you couldn't see anything else. Just sand dunes all around. It was that far and crazy. But this would be definitely my maybe equally favorite, or maybe even number one, because this was in Utah, and this was just not even like a one of those monumentally crazy parks.
That's the amazing thing about Utah. Nothing is really. There are like 3 or 4 monumental crazy parks, but then the whole rest of the state has this crazy stuff just like right out along the road that is nothing to them. Do you remember we saw a baby deer?
Yeah.
When we saw this? Yeah, we saw this. It was a pull-off spot on a road. They said petroglyphs over here. And then we saw these apple trees and a baby deer eating an apple. It was like the freaking adorable Disney movie or something.
It was amazing. That's true. Is this print here?
What print?
The one you're talking about?
The deer? Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I think...
So we won't show it. I want to go back to the comments for a second, because Marcin is asking, Facebook own your pictures since you post them. Isn't that true? And Gus says, no, Facebook does not own your own pictures. You retain all rights to them. Is that correct? Because this is not what I've been hearing.
No, you do. He's correct. Because there was a big scary thing where all the photographers were saying, oh my god, Facebook took away the rights to our images. And then when they investigated the legalities of that, it just wasn't true. They said the camera was shaking.
Yeah.
Because the whole Airstream was probably shaking.
It's to make this show a little more dynamic. You know, we were too static, so we thought we would add some vertical movement.
You're doing it again.
I know, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
The truth is, Michael, it's a little rudimentary setup here in the Airstream.
I wish we could do a cut scene to this. It's rudimentary. What's more rudimentary, this or the shed? Because they each have their pluses and minuses.
Well, at least in the shed we have more stable placement for the camera.
Yes.
Here, but we do have 2 angles, and check this out. The second one isn't shaking. Isn't that cool? The second one
is less rudimentary.
I can jump up and down, and it's not shaking.
Now the whole Airstream is shaking.
I know, because it's the Airstream. It's a little less rudimentary than the shed. It's not as stable, you know, as a fixed building, so it will always have a little bit of a movement to it, I guess.
Marcin said, Whisper the dog picture is great.
Thank you. Is there another Whisper picture in the gallery?
Whisper picture? No, I don't think there is.
Really?
No.
You only put one Whisper picture in the gallery?
Who wants a picture of somebody else's dog?
I think everybody wants a picture of my dog.
I was thinking nobody's really going to want a picture of you and Whisper running up the mountain, but I couldn't make myself take it down.
Alright, let's go back to one of the first places we visited on that trip in 2015, which was
Savannah, and we just went back there again.
Yeah.
And this was also with the DF.
So why do you like this? Because it's a lonely light?
Because the light is balanced well with the trees back there, and there's the Spanish moss hanging down, and it's dangling over the light. That's why.
Okay,
and
so very simple.
The light is not blown out. It's like you can still see the color.
And this is actually the location where that other photo was taken, which is very famous
also
again.
Savannah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, this isn't. This is called Wormwood, actually.
Famous road under the trees.
This isn't the famous one. There is a different one that is more famous than this one. Yes.
I thought this was the famous
But this
one.
is called Wormwood something. And I like that picture because even though it's in horrible lighting with the dappled lighting, you know, technically this is the worst time of day to take a picture. But with those Nikon cameras, you can really pull the shadows out. and you can make them look nicer underneath.
Are you actually trying to sell the prints today or the Nikon cameras?
No, I'm just selling the quality of the print based on the camera and the photographer.
You should have said something else, because we actually do have a store on our website that does have the very camera that Bonnie was using to create those photos, and it's called the Nikon DF.
But we don't have the store up yet.
Oh, we do. It just needs some refinement. It's missing like 2 last images, and then
we have to tweak all of the products.
Ready to go. You don't have to talk about those details. And that camera, even I have to admit, a die-hard Canon fan for 16 years now, never switched. Although I did shoot with Nikon in the very, very beginning. Canon just felt better, so I went with Canon. I have to admit that camera is awesome and amazing and very easy to use, and it does have this nostalgia feel because it looks like an old film camera. Part of it is silver, and it just I don't know, it just feels great to shoot with something like that. You know, it makes you feel like more of an old time, you know, real photographer. When you couldn't see the preview of the photo on the LCD, you had to either meter the light or judge the exposure, or rely on the camera's meter, which wasn't always working very well.
Now Nikon is coming out with a new mirrorless camera, and they said it will be easy even for women.
How rude.
I sent that to you, remember?
Okay, let's go to Oregon.
Crater Lake, Oregon. Everything on that trip in the west was just spectacularly beautiful, wasn't it? And this was one of those places.
This was one of the most beautiful places.
This doesn't even... Didn't you feel like... I mean, now it's nice and pretty to look back on these pictures and you think, oh, that was gorgeous. But I remember being on that trip and telling you repeatedly that I feel like almost not taking photos because I never could capture what it looked like to us. Do you remember me saying that?
Yes.
Like, the pictures look pretty, but honestly, that is like 1/50th of how pretty it really was. Don't you
I know.
agree?
It's crazy to really reflect that in the photo, even though it sounds ridiculous because that's why we take photos. But I feel like this would really have to be done in like 3D or something to
3D and wider
really show how
and more of a panorama.
vast and crazy that location was. And that day that lake was completely calm and just so, I don't know, the light was beautiful, everything worked again. Comments. Michael 6 says, are your jacks down?
Are they?
I was confused first, but I think he means the support for the Airstream. They are,
Yes.
but this thing is still shaking a little bit, even with the jacks down.
It's not enough. Like, if I'm sorry to shake it again. I know
no,
the
that
camera.
one doesn't shake. You can.
Oh,
you
it's
can
on
shake,
that
yeah.
one. I know the camera. Oh, I kept looking at this one.
No,
I know the
over
camera
there now.
looks really wobbly, but in here, it doesn't feel as wobbly as it does.
Yeah.
It probably looks.
Because the slightest shake on the camera will be reflected, but the Airstream is not really shaking that much when you're in it, so we're good.
Meredith is here. Hi.
Meredith joined and found us eventually. Good to have you here. Gus says that is one of my favorite David and Whisper.
Oh.
Is that what it means?
Must be.
I thought you were going to keep the DF.
Oh, I am. I have kept it.
Yes, so Michael, the store,
Oh, yeah, when you said the store,
Yeah.
okay.
it's not the actual Blondie's camera in the store. It's
No.
simply a Nikon DF that we're linking to.
Well, we're coming up with a store. I don't want to give you the URL yet because it's not completed, but it basically is just products that we love, and we're going to write our descriptions of why we love them, and then they link to Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's just basically it looks like a store, and there's even a shopping cart, but the interface is completely through Amazon.
For every purchase, we get like a tiny little
Yeah.
kickback, like 50 cents or something.
And if any of y'all shop on Amazon, don't forget to use our affiliate link that's on wags.life if you don't mind, because it costs you nothing. It's just like you click through that link.
The store is pretty much ready. It's going to be up tomorrow, right?
Are you purposely putting me on the spot?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't need much. It needs
We
like
just
2
need
more
to-
pictures and
well,
the description. So
But we still need
it's
to
going to
add
be
more.
up tomorrow.
We still need to add more products,
No excuses.
and we need to fix all of the product descriptions. You said you were going to do that.
Yes, absolutely. No excuses. Let's talk about a very familiar view. Midtown Manhattan from Weehawken, New Jersey. There's a park on the coast of New Jersey, right across Manhattan, in a place called Weehawken, that overlooks this magnificent city, and it's very easy to take really gorgeous photos from there,
Oh, it's
especially
very
at nighttime.
easy.
But this one is a stitch of what, like 12 different photos,
Oh my gosh.
maybe more.
It was probably more than that. It was
So
maybe 12. I don't know.
first of all, this was shot at night, so you need a camera that has low noise at high ISOs, which is an Nikon again, of course. This was shot with D4,
D4S.
D4S.
And it was taken like.
Yeah. So it's a lot of photos actually, way more than 12. And this is so far the only custom size print in our store.
Yeah, and that's the problem with this store is the cropping.
The
is a
sizes
little
on the
weird.
right don't really apply for this one
Mhm.
because you would either have to leave a lot of space on top and bottom, or this would get heavily cropped. So if you're interested in purchasing this one,
I mean, what would happen if they, for instance, got the 11 by 14? It would be printed out 14 wide, long, and then the top and bottom would have white space, and they'd have to cut that off.
yeah. So that would suck.
Yeah.
So if you're interested if you are interested in getting this one, the best way is to simply contact us about it,
This is hanging in Poland.
and we can advise different sizes. It is hanging in my parents' house
Mhm.
because they had one that I created with some sucky old Canon camera in 2002, and now this was shot 14 years later with a really cool Nikon camera. That's how, bipartisan I am. I don't care about brands. I don't care.
Even though you still think Canon is much better.
It has better skin tones, but luckily there was no skin tones here, so no problem. So yes, absolutely stunning this print. You can definitely order it in custom size. Measure your wall. Let us know if you want it, and we can get the custom size to you.
We need to get more of, once I get the panorama section of the store, when we should put more of your drone photos in there, because you've taken some
Drone photos.
incredible ones.
Yeah. So what is this true art here, Bonnie?
This was graffiti in Italy, and it was a nun holding what appears to be a machine gun with rosary and flowers. Isn't that cool? I like taking pictures of graffiti. First of all, I like graffiti. And second of all, it's cool how, it looks around the graffiti. It's so rugged and rough. Instead of, if you painted this, you'd have to add fake texture and all of that. And this just has real texture.
Interesting comment from Michael. If you put a Canadian affiliate link, I would, but shopping on the American Amazon costs me more than using the Canadian one. I did not realize
Me
there
either.
were different Amazon sections, or however you call it,
Are
for...
we still with this?
No, I don't know why this is showing it here, but it's not. Why there were different sections for Canadian and American Amazon.
Yeah. So we'll have to change. We'll have to add an affiliate link for the Canadian one, because we can do that, right? It's just the European one that's difficult.
I did hear from our friend Dave, who lives in Calgary, that it's difficult to get Amazon items in there in general.
Oh.
So I don't know why that would be. I thought Amazon was shipping everywhere and fast and delivering with drones and stuff like that. But apparently they're not. Canon is much better if you work with DPP.
Who works with DPP?
That is true.
anymore?
I was the defender of DPP for a long time. For one reason, I think it is great solution for fast workflow. If you shoot exactly the way, if you're perfect in nailing the exposure and color, and your goal is to not process a lot in post, DPP actually makes a lot of sense.
I do a lot though.
Because you do, because it recognizes the settings of the camera. You can even shoot black and white in camera, which Canon does have great
I
black
do
and
like
white.
that part about the proprietary software. Same
And
with Nikon.
it would simply allow you to just do very quick workflow without a lot of post-processing, so you can simply convert the raws that are looking good and apply quick changes to the ones that you still need to fix. So it does have, it does have advantages. Don't dismiss it.
I just would not ever use it.
Well, yeah, because you're a Nikon shooter.
No, but I used to.
Not anymore.
I had it at first whenever I had the Canon 5D Mark IV, but Mark II. But I didn't like it as much as Lightroom. Not even close.
How about Sunset in Rome?
That's what it is.
This was a
Sunset
great
in
moment
Rome.
because we were there exactly when we started taking these photos. Obviously, this is shot from the street level, so you literally put the camera down on the street. And when we started taking these photos, it was because of the color of the sky behind the basilica. And then the street lights came on that very moment. So we were like, wow, this is kind of cool to be there at that specific moment between the daylight and night when, the street lights
I
come
tried
on.
to take it with the slow shutter to get blurred people, but people just stand around.
Yeah, everybody was taking photos.
Yeah, so it didn't help.
It was a great evening in Rome. Very warm and very nice.
We didn't get to have much time in the evening in Rome, remember?
No, because we were there to work.
Yeah.
So then Blondie decided to do some more abstract art photography.
This was in my iPhone.
But it looks amazing.
And it's with the Mextures app. I really like that app. Because for things like, I don't really print or post photos with a lot of fake texture and color and stuff, but for iPhone photos, I think it's cool to edit with that app. Because it adds like lens flares and textures and different types of filters and stuff. And I liked the picture on its side like that better than the other way. Do you? Or do you like it better the other way?
No, this is very interesting. I like what you did. Michael, I do as little post-processing as possible. I don't use Photoshop anymore, and if I can't get it right in Lightroom in less than 5 minutes, I skip it and move on. I hate post-processing. So this is the rule. Less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I use Lightroom. I only use Photoshop for things like
Wouldn't it be cool to create a rule like that? No matter what you created, 5 minutes, you cut it off and send the print to the client like that.
Oh no.
And then the bride has a lot of questions.
I mean, I understand what he's saying.
Why is my arm fatter than in reality?
I understand what he's saying though, like the I think that is good when you're processing an entire wedding. I think it should be 3 minutes when you're processing a whole wedding. But I will admit that sometimes I get wrapped up in like, I am so picky about editing, like the colors and like the lines in the background.
And then it turns out it doesn't matter. Because everybody's monitor is calibrated differently.
But even the lines in the background, I always have to have them straight or skew the background so that it. And I mean, probably nobody who's getting those pictures notices, but.
Should we talk about what happened to us in North Carolina? I mean, in South Carolina? When we were doing the slideshow for the recent wedding we did in South Carolina, and the whole family was gathered together in a house the next day. We went there to show the slideshow to everybody, and we connected the laptop to this giant TV that they had on the wall, and the colors couldn't be more different.
Oh my gosh, they were like way overexposed.
It was so crazy.
And purple, and I edited them, and David really gets on me about editing too light sometimes. So when I saw them on the TV, we're sitting in completely two different parts of the room, and I was sitting there thinking, oh my god, I hope David is looking at his laptop and he knows I didn't edit these like this.
First, I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the screen. I was like, what the hell?
Why did she do that?
So then I'm glancing at the laptop screen and I'm like, okay, this doesn't look like that here. And then I look at the screen again and I can't believe the difference. Like the colors were like all over the place.
And none of the people in the room noticed.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, one person.
And
that was also kind of funny
I wanted
and
to talk about that. But this was exactly the craziest thing, that it didn't bother anybody in the room. People are so happy to see the expressions and the moments that your brain somehow cuts the colors out. Like it doesn't even process that part. It processes the emotion that comes out of these prints, these photos, when it's your own wedding or your daughter's wedding or something like that. You know, like it's really stunning. how only one person paid attention to those, and that's because
He is the person who works for Sony
he works
camera.
for Sony, and he, like us, deals with image
Yeah.
processing every day. So, we kind of didn't even have to communicate with him. They requested that we show the whole slideshow the second time, and we were like, okay, we're fixing this
Yeah.
TV.
And we did as best that we could, but it still wasn't.
We got it pretty close in the end, but we had to like redo like every single setting on the TV there
very,
was.
very crazy ones.
Had to go like deep into the menus and like explore everything there was, just like get it to 0 and then start working with it. So that was pretty crazy. Marcin
Wrote
deleted
something
his
and changed
comment,
his mind about it.
which now makes me curious. All right, one or two more prints, Blondie? Maybe you should pick one or two.
This was just because I like that Polish lady, Magda
Look
something
at this
or other.
beautiful snail.
And she does all these amazing macro
Slug.
photos. Slug, yes. She does all those amazing macro photos, and I just really am envious of those pictures that woman does. And so I felt like going in the backyard and trying something, but still nothing close to what she did.
What is her name again?
Magna. Blah, 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 blah.
That's
I
not
could
her
tell
name,
you.
but we can
You know
find
what? I'll
her.
read it, and then I'll show you, and then you.
There's this Polish artist that does a lot of macro photos in her garden. Magda Wasicek. Marcin, jeśli nadal tutaj jesteś, to możesz sobie sprawdzić jej Facebook page
I can go on
Magda
YouTube.
Wasicek Fotografia. A lot of really, really cool macro photos shot in her garden. She often uses a spray bottle with water to create additional glamour and glow to the background. And of course she processes them afterwards, but a lot of really amazing work.
How do I get to this? Does this have a weird thumbnail?
How do you get to
I
her?
think I found it. No. I wanted to post the link in the comments.
Okay, so
Oh, wow. She has a good Facebook page. Facebook.com/flower photographer.
what is that, Blondie? A paper flower?
Yes, that's a paper flower at Terrain at Stiers in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. And somebody ordered this print for their wall already.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It was just paper, like those are, I believe that's music or plant pages from a book rolled up to make the paper flower.
Very interesting.
Michael said something.
Since 99% people don't use calibrated monitors on their computer, it won't look like your computer. So spending a lot of time on 500 pictures is a waste of time and won't be noticed. So
Yep,
unfortunately,
I agree.
that is true.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of discussion about it, and there's a strong part of us that still can't let this go, and we still try to perfect them because our monitors are at least calibrated to the lab, and they're what you see on the screen is extremely close to what you get from the lab. So our philosophy is, at least if we process them the way we like, and we put those prints into the gallery and client orders them, what they're going to get in the end from the lab as prints is going to look very good, regardless of what they're seeing on their screen. And we completely realized that...
And having to print albums from the images we provide, it would be a nightmare to go back and tweak every picture from the album.
Yes, so we completely realized that what you're saying is true. Everybody is looking on a different device, different manufacturers, monitors, TVs, phones, whatever. So all of that, our hard work and hours of work that go into color correcting is completely senseless. Like, it's pointless almost.
When I say I spend a lot of time on the pictures, though, it's a lot of like dodging and burning and lifting shadows and doing stuff that is probably also too much.
I'm more like you, Michael. I want to get this done as soon
Yeah.
as possible, and I do the basic corrections. It looks good. It doesn't need more done. Next. Marcin says, "Oh my God, she is good with flowers." Yes, a lot of amazing work in there, and Michael admits different for prints, which means I win.
Get used to it, Michael. That's what David always thinks.
I never say that. I don't know what you're talking about.
You never say that?
Elapsed time 54 minutes. How did that happen? We talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be a short live today. I was gonna make a joke in the beginning saying that we won't be online for more than 2 hours, but I think you guys are exhausted with us right now. So once again, if you like some of these prints and you would like to buy them, thank you so much. That would be a great support for our show and our channel and our existence.
And our vet bill.
And if you have friends or anybody who think you might be interested in looking at this gallery and getting some original prints for themselves, because we shot them so they aren't available anywhere else, then just share the link, which you should post here as well right now.
But can't you post it?
That's right, I can absolutely post it. Check it out, here it is. Yahoo! Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for joining us today in this unusually unexpected YouTube live because Facebook didn't work. Hope you will be here with us tomorrow as well. We have an event to shoot tomorrow that is far away, but
we're gonna still do this tomorrow?
we are supposed to be back early, so we should be live. If we're not, that means we're stuck somewhere on New Jersey Turnpike. If we unstuck ourselves, we will be here at 9:30 p.m.
We should just do live from the New Jersey Turnpike rest area.
Gus says my favorite is a landscape shack in Utah.
Oh, thank
I
you.
do like that one a lot. I was gonna click it at some point and I don't really know why I didn't. So thank you for bringing that up. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
How do I stop this?